Where you from, King? Houston? What nationality are you? Black, right? You ever thought about the fact?
Stand test with you, brother.
Yes, sir. Somebody give him the WFI Chicago YouTube, right? And if you got Zavayala's Instagram, give him that, right? Either Zavayala or matter of fact, Tazama. You heard me? You heard me so hard, Tazama. All right, so you ever thought about the fact that we don't have, as black, we don't have a land or a language or a heritage or nothing? You ever thought of that? Like, what's the land of black? See, there is no land of black, right? What is the language of black? Because it ain't one. You see that? What color are you, brother? Are you the same color as your hat? Nah. So how can you be black? You see that? We can't be black. Right? It's not possible. Give me Jeremiah 17:4. See, that's what they told you are. Right? At a time, they told you was a Negro. At another time, they told you was colored. Right? Another time, they told you was Afro-American. Right? Now you black, African-American, you both at the same time. And now they kind of telling you ADOS, a descendant of slaves. That's madness. Right? Hey, we ain't none of those things, man. Right? Read Jeremiah 17:4.
Jeremiah 17:4.
Bring it out.
And thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thine heritage.
From what?
From thine heritage.
No, you'll know who you are.
From thine heritage.
No, you'll know your language.
From thine heritage.
Right? So, hey, the Lord is telling Jeremiah that him and the Israelites are going to be discontinued from their heritage. Right? Hey, you've been discontinued from your heritage, brother. You don't know what your foreways and your byways are. You don't know what you should be doing. You don't know what please. You don't even know who your God is.
Right.
Right? What's the name of your God, brother? You see that? If I pull a Chinese man to the side, I say, what's the name of your God? He gonna say Buddha. Right? If I pull a Arab man to the side and I say, what's the name of your God? He gonna say Allah. Right? But if I pull a black man, they gonna say, hey, I don't know. Or they gonna say God, which God is just a title. That's not a name. Right? And that's because they've taken these things away from you. And what we out here to do in these last days is to give that back to our people, man. Give you back what was stolen from you. Don't you want that back, brother? Right? That's why the Lord had you stay for so long in the cold. Because your spirit is already yearning for exactly what you're about to learn. Right? So we gotta take heed to the things that we hear. Right? Give me Deuteronomy 28 and verse 15.
Deuteronomy 28:15.
Right?
But it shall come to pass,
right,
if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God,
right,
to observe, to do all his commandments,
right,
and his statutes,
right,
which I command thee this day, that all these curses.
That all these what?
All these curses.
All these what?
All these curses.
All these what?
All these curses.
Now, some nation is being told if they don't listen to their God, that they're going to get a bunch of curses on them. Right? Let's find out what nation of people this is. Deuteronomy 29:1.
It's Deuteronomy 29:1.
Right?
These are the words of the covenant,
right,
which the Lord commanded Moses to make with the children of Israel.
With who?
With the children of Israel.
So the children of Israel are the people that if they don't listen to these commandments, if they don't hearken and do these commandments, they are the people that's going to be cursed. So we're going to read these curses and you tell me what nation of people today fits these curses. Because that nation of people is going to be the Israelites. You understand that? Read verse 16.
Verse 16.
Right?
Cursed shall be that. Cursed shall thou be in the city,
right?
And cursed shall thou be in the field.
It says, cursed shall thou be in the city. Now, who do you know that lives in a cursed estate in the city? What nation of people? What nation of people live in the ghettos? Blacks. What nation of people fill up the jails? Same, right? What nation of people get shot down in the streets? Right? Us. Right? Wouldn't you consider that to be cursed in the city? To live in the projects they call you they say the inner city projects, right? Isn't that being cursed in the city, brother? To live in a lower state in every city that you live in? Would you agree? You don't think that's being cursed?
I say cursed like in.
What is a curse to you, brother? Is it a good thing? It's a bad thing. Is living in the projects a good thing? No. So is that a curse or is it a blessing?
Curse and blessing can be, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I think it's obsolete.
Obsolete?
Yeah.
What does obsolete mean?
Bro, I mean, like, I don't know.
I mean, you use the words. I just
Yeah,
want you, you know what I'm saying?
I know, but see, man, I'm just thinking about this.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, brother. So look, you agree that living in the projects, filling up the jails, and being shot in the streets is a bad thing, right?
Yeah.
You agree that a curse is a bad thing, right?
Yes.
So if curse and bad things are synonymous, and these people fit this bad thing, that means they fit that curse. It's not a deep thing. It's kind of one of those things where you may be looking at the word in a different light than what it's supposed to be looked at in, right? The word just means these bad things. That's all it means. So we are getting you agree the so-called black man has this bad thing upon him, all right? So in totality, it's a curse. You got to remember, this is dealing with Old English. We wouldn't speak that way now. But in the ancient times, you wouldn't say, I got these bad things on me. You say, I'm cursed. You understand? So the terminology may be different, but the definition means the same thing. You get it? So the cursed in the city would be the so-called black man, right? Now it said cursed in the field, right? Now what nation of people was going through this? Picking cotton with a whip on their back, right? That's being cursed in the field. That's a bad thing happening to you in the field, right? Give me the book of Deuteronomy 28, right, in verse number 37.
Verse number. Oh, you got it. Deuteronomy 28 and 37.
Right?
And thou shalt become an astonishment.
Right?
A proverb.
And a what?
And a proverb.
And a what?
And a proverb.
You know what a proverb is, brother? A proverb is a wise saying, right? That's the reason why you have in the Bible a book called Proverbs. That book is just filled with a bunch of wise sayings, a bunch of wisdom, right? Solomon was the wisest man to walk the earth, and he wrote the book of Proverbs because it's a wise saying, right? The wise saying that's on a so-called black man would be what? If you want to hide something from a nigga, put it in the book, right? You've heard that before, right? That's a wise saying, right? That's literally, and it's kind of the truth, right? If you want to hide something from us, put it in the book. Hey, we'll read stats, we'll read magazines, we'll read Instagram posts. Hey, but hardly any of us will read anything with sustenance in it, right? You want to hide something from us, put it in the book. That's a proverb that's on us. There's no wise saying on the so-called white man. There's no wise saying on the so-called Chinese man or the Arab man, right? But you have that proverb on the so-called black man. Hey, black men love watermelon, right? They love fried chicken, man. Everybody loves fried chicken, but why is that on us? Right? You said what? Stereotype, right? And it says what else?
And a byword.
And a byword. You came up here and called yourself black. That's a byword, brother. That's not who you are, right? That's literally a byword, right? Being called African American is a byword.
That's right.
Right? That's not who we are. You got to think about the fact that how many times they change their nationality, right? My people come from Jamaica, right? Hey, that's a byword. Jamaica means wood and water. How the hell can you be a wood and water? Right? That's madness. Hey, the Native Americans are called Native Americans, man. Right? How the hell can you be a Native American when this place wasn't even called America before they came and named it America? That's a byword. Right? The so-called Hispanic man is called Hispanic, means his Spaniard or property of Spain. That can't be a nationality. Right? A nationality means you descend from a man. That's where you get your nationality from, a man. Anything other than that would be a byword. Right? And the so-called white man who runs the earth, he's actually the person that put all these different so-called nationalities on people because he wants to confuse you of who you are and who they are. He never wants you to know who he truly is because the Bible tells you who he is and how wicked he is and what his judgment is from the Most High. Right? Read on.
Among all nations,
right?
Whither the Lord shall lead thee.
Right? Among all nations. So no matter where we go, hey, you literally can go to Europe and they still gonna call you a nigga.
Right.
That's crazy. You literally can go to China and they still gonna call you a nigga. Hey, you can go to Africa with more people your color and they still call you a nigga. Think about that. The Lord said you'll be a byword among all, and it don't matter where you go, you're still a nigga. Still a Negro. Still black. Hey, that's a curse that's upon the Israelite. That's not a good thing for wherever you go. They never call you by your nationality. They never call you by your true title. Right? That's only upon the so-called Israelite man. I mean the Israelite man, not so-called, the actual Israelite man, the so-called black man, man.
That's right.
Right? Give me the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28, right, and verse number 54.
So that the man that is tender among you,
Right?
and very delicate.
Right? So once upon a time, we were tender and delicate among each other, meaning we handle each other with care. Right? That's what you do with something that's tender and delicate. You handle it with care. If I hand you something and I say, hey, this is a delicate thing, you're not going to throw it on the wall. Right? You're going to handle it delicately. Right? Once upon a time ago, we handled each other with care. Meaning, even if I didn't know you, I would show you that I cared about you. Right? Hey, brother, you okay? You need something? Can I help you with something? That's the way you handle somebody with care. But now with this curse upon us, how are we going to handle each other? Read.
His eye shall be evil toward his brother.
Black on black crime.
His eye shall be evil toward his brother.
Bloods and Crips.
His eye shall be evil toward his brother.
North versus South.
His eye shall be evil toward his brother.
See, now you're going to have this evil eye towards your brother. No, so when you see another so-called black man, right, when you see another so-called Hispanic man, right, you're going to have an evil eye, mean mug, not like him, have that wish a nigga would spirit. Man, I wish that nigga would, right? The so-called white man don't have that spirit against his people. We have that spirit against our people, right? You agree? You think that's a good thing to have against your people? Hell no. So that's a curse. And that fits our people, right? Read on.
And toward the wife of his bosom.
And towards the wife of his bosom. I always ask people, have you ever seen a so-called white pimp? Nah. But you see a so-called black pimp all the time, right? Pimping his women out. And, hey, sometimes one of the women at his baby mama, he's still pimping her out. That's a filthy eye to your women, man. To literally make your woman lay down with multiple men for a couple of dollars, man. That's literally a filthy, evil eye to your women. No other nation has that, right? Hey, I ain't gonna lie, the so-called Chinese man, he might kidnap his own women and put them through a sex trade. I won't lie, I gotta kind of touch on that. But it's not on the same level. It's not on the same level, and nobody else beats their women like the so-called black man, man. That's right. Kind of roughing them up, man. And proud of it with the Ike spirit, man. That's right. Right? Everybody know what Ike was doing to damn Tina, man. That's right. You don't hear about that from another nation. Everybody know what Ike was doing to Tina, kind of roughing her up. Hey, Jacob have his woman and call her Annie Mae to kind of let her know. You know, because everybody know Ike, that was what Ike called Tina, Annie Mae. Annie Mae, sit your ass down somewhere, Annie Mae. You know? Damn Lucy and Ricardo, man. Damn Ricardo was telling, hey, you know. And he's Hispanic. And it was made a joke, but it's a real thing, man. That's an evil eye towards your woman, man. Right? Read on.
And toward the remnant of his children, which he shall lead.
Which he shall what?
Which he shall lead.
No, he gonna be in the home.
Which he shall lead.
So it's saying now the so-called, the Israelite man, which we call a black man or a Hispanic man, is going to leave his children. Meaning it's gonna be single parent homes. Who has that? Who has that, brother?
Stop saying black.
Us. But who are we? Who is Moses talking? Who is Moses talking to? Is he talking to us? Is he talking to black people? Let's read it again. 29:1.
These are the words of the covenant,
right,
which the Lord commanded Moses to make with the children of Israel.
With who?
With the children of Israel.
Who went to the curses?
The children of Israel.
Who are the curses on?
The children of Israel.
Who are you, brother? That's right. That's right. That's right, brother. You are Israelite. That's why you see all the damn commotion right now with Kyrie Irving and Kanye West, man. That's why you saw the commotion with Deshaun Jackson last year, man. All the commotion with Nick Cannon last year, man. Anytime a so-called black person opens their mouth to tell their people who they really are, and they kind of bring hell down upon them, man, because it's the world's biggest secret. It's the world's most kept secret. You don't need to know who you are, it's how they feel. Because once you know who you are, you can come back and serve your God and reclaim your throne as a king on the earth, man. That's what they don't want you to know. Hey, Kanye West done said some crazy things, some outlandish things, man. Some things that they probably should have been cut him off of Twitter and Instagram, and they never did. But the moment he opened his mouth and said what? Hey, we the chosen people of God, And we gotta take that. We gotta take take his Instagram down, and we gotta take his Twitter down.
Take his money out of our
You know, and he went from being a billionaire to only having $400 million, all because of what he said. And he never opened his mouth and said he hated anybody. All he did was say, "Hey, we the real people of God." That's how important it is for them to silence you. They trying hard to silence that man with his money, right? But one thing about the Lord is when he put his spirit on you, there's no fear.
Right.
There's no fear. And he got to kind of speak his words, man, because the words of the Lord is like a fire in your belly, man. Right? And that's what's going on. So, brother, you an Israelite. So now that you know you an Israelite, what do? Do you just walk around and say you an Israelite? I'm an Israelite. That's it? No. Give me Sirach 17:11 first. Right? Sirach 17:11.
Bring that out.
What Quran? He left?
Yeah.
Fine. Yeah.
Sirach 17:11.
Right?
Besides this,
Right.
he gave them knowledge
Right?
and the law of life for inheritance.
For what?
For inheritance.
Now you can get your heritage back, brother, which is the law of life, which is the Most High God's law. So now we're going to give you a couple of laws, which is your heritage, that you could begin to start keeping. That way, you can actually return to being a ruler on the earth, man. Right? Because the Lord is waiting on us to return unto him, man, as a nation. Right? That's why we out here. We don't come out here for our own help. It's cold. Brothers' feet hurt. Brothers' backs hurt. We out here because we want our kingdom back.
That's right.
Right? And we get our kingdom back when our people come back to the Lord, man.
That's right.
Right? So that's why we out here. So read Deuteronomy 10 and 12.
I had it. I thought he wanted to get straight to the curse. I mean, straight to the.
Deuteronomy 10 and 12.
Right?
And now Israel,
Right?
what doth the Lord thy God? What doth the Lord thy God require of thee?
Right?
But to fear the Lord thy God,
Right?
to walk in all his ways, and to love him,
Right?
and to serve the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul.
Right?
To keep the commandments of the Lord.
To do what?
To keep the commandments of the Lord.
What does brother got to do now?
To keep the commandments of the Lord.
What do you got to do now, brother? That's right. That's right. So we're going to give you some commandments. Leviticus 11 and 7. Right? Exodus 35 and 2. Right? We're going to give you 4 commandments, brother. And they actually, most of them are actually on that pack, man. Right? But we're going to give them to you. And then we're going to show you how to pray, and then we'll send you on your way, brother. Right?
Leviticus 11 and 7.
Right?
And the swine, though he divide the hoof,
Right?
and be cloven footed,
Right?
yet he cheweth not the cud, he is unclean to you.
He is what?
He is unclean to you.
No, you can eat it.
He is unclean to you.
Pork chops.
He is unclean to you.
Pepperoni.
He is unclean to you.
Can you eat pork, brother? No. No pork. Right? The Lord not dealing with pork, man. Right? That's a sin. Right? That's not in our heritage. Kings don't eat slop. And pork is slop. Right? Read verse 9.
Verse 9. These shall ye eat of all that are in the waters.
So he's going to tell you what is okay to eat of everything that swims in the waters. Right? Read.
Whatsoever have fins and scales
Right.
in the waters,
Right.
in the seas,
Right.
and in the rivers,
Right.
them shall ye eat.
Read.
And all that have not fins and scales
Right.
in the seas and in the rivers,
Right.
of all that move in the waters, and of any living thing which is in the waters, they shall be an abomination unto you.
Right? So, hey, if it don't have fins and scales, it's an abomination. And the Lord hates abominations. So you can't eat any abominable thing, man. Right? The Lord hates that thing. Right? So what doesn't have fins and scales? Right? Shrimp don't have fins and scales. Lobsters don't have fins and scales. Crawfish don't have fins and scales. Catfish don't have fins and scales. None of those things have fins and scales. Right? So if it doesn't have fins and scales, if it ain't bass, salmon, tilapia, tuna, cod, if it ain't one of those fishes, you got to stay away from it, brother. Snapper, red snapper is a top of the line fish, right? That bad, hey, a Jamaica boy, boy, we cook some snapper, bro.
Some red stripes.
We cook some snapper, brother, right? Now, so if it ain't one of those, hey, you got to stay away from it. Can you do that? Slowly but surely. I mean, I can work with that, but this is what I'll caution you of, brother. Right? There's gonna be things that you got to change about you that you're gonna struggle with. Right? Putting down certain foods, that shouldn't really be a struggle. So I wouldn't put myself in a position where I'm adding sin to sin. right? If you're already struggling with something else, right, which may be tougher than just saying, hey, I'm gonna push that shrimp away, I'm gonna push that crawfish away, I'm gonna push that catfish away, right? Then you're adding sin to sin. And you're taking an occasion for the Lord to put you to death, right? So if that's gonna be your struggle, hey, you gotta make sure that you moving in a righteous manner, brother, because there's a lot harder things in this world, man, right? Lust is a way harder demon to fight than what you're gonna eat, right? Because you know, lust is a heavy demon, right? So if you think you're gonna struggle with lust, that you might want to push that fish, those things without fins and scale away from you immediately, brother, right? Because, hey, no lie, I love catfish. Like, I mean, I loved me some fried catfish. Then I had just got into blackening catfish too. Hey, that thing used to be right. That thing was right, you know? That thing was right. And then I learned this, and I never ate it again. It didn't take much, you know? So, brother, don't, you know, like, I can work with you saying, we don't have a problem with a brother saying, hey, I'm going to work on it. But all I'm going to caution you of is the Lord doesn't deal with us adding sin to sin, right? All right, read Exodus 35 and 2.
The book of Exodus 35 and 2.
Right.
6 days shall work be done.
Right.
But on the 7th day,
right,
there shall be to you an holy day.
Right.
A Sabbath of rest to the Lord.
A what?
A Sabbath of rest to the Lord.
A what?
A Sabbath of rest to the Lord.
Right, a Sabbath of rest to the Lord. Right, the 7th day of the week. Which day of the week is the 7 days? Huh? Right, so that's what they want you to believe. But even on the calendar, when you look at it, what day of the week does the calendar start with? No, that's the day of the week. That's the day of the work week. But the actual calendar, when you look on your phone or any calendar, it actually starts with Sunday. Right? You see that? It's a double S. The last day of the week is an S, and the first day of the week is an S. Right? So the actual 7th day will be Saturday. Right? So your Sabbath day is Saturday. But according to Genesis chapter 1 and verse 5, a day starts at evening. Not at 12:01 midnight, at evening, right? So Friday when the sun goes down is actually the beginning of the Sabbath day. So the Sabbath day starts Friday at sundown and ends at Saturday at sundown. So we closing out the Sabbath right now. So it started last night and it's ending right now. You understand? Right? So read on.
Whosoever doeth work therein shall be put to death.
Shall be what?
Shall be put to death.
Shall be what?
Shall be put to death.
So, brother, there is no doing no work on the Sabbath day, right? And you hear that and you're like, well, people work on Saturday all the time and they don't die. Because the Lord is long suffering, right? Hey, and sometimes people die and you don't know that's why the Lord killed them, man.
That's right.
Hey, just because you get into a car accident don't mean the Lord didn't just kill that person for working on the Sabbath day. You never know. That's the judgment of the Lord. Hey, some people was in the club Friday night, the Lord kind of blew their brains out, man. Had their brains blown out. Hey, that's literally the judgment of the Lord, man. But people don't deem it to be so, because they don't understand that the Lord killed them to make us alive. There's no killing going on this earth that wasn't at the hand of the Lord, man.
That's right.
Hey, he the biggest hitman that exists, man.
That's right.
Right? But people don't think that because they're taught that the Lord is all loving. The Lord is a just balance. He's loving just as much as he's hating, right? And he hates sinners. Right? And anybody that's committing sin, hey, they in danger of judgment, man. So just because the Lord doesn't bring down swift judgment upon people like he used to, sending lightning bolts on them and opening up the ground and swallowing them, he doesn't do those things no more because he uses a different type of sword, a different type of weapon. The sword he uses now is men, chiefly. Takeoff getting put to death, hey, that was at the Lord's hand, man.
Right.
That brother was wicked. He's defiling his temple with weed and all kind of other things, right? He's teaching women to do wicked and whorish activities, man. Right? All those different things the Lord is not okay with, man. Right? And that brother worked on the Sabbath day, man. That could have been his judgment, man. For that, that's a judgment of death, man. Right? So literally, brother, understand that. Right? Matter of fact, we're gonna prove it. Give me Isaiah 40 and 7, right? 1 Samuel 2 and 7. Yeah, 45 and 7, Salaki. We're going to prove that the Lord the one that do the killing, man.
Which one you want first?
I want Isaiah.
The book of Isaiah 45 and 7.
Right?
I form the light.
Right?
And create darkness.
Right?
I make peace
Right.
and create evil.
And do what?
And create evil.
What is killings?
I create evil.
Right? The Lord creates evil. Read on.
I, the Lord, do all these things.
The Lord does all those things, man. The Most High God is the one that does all that. So good and bad is at the hand of the Most High. Read that.
This is 1 Samuel 2:7.
Right.
The Lord maketh poor and maketh rich.
Right.
He bringeth low
Right.
and lifteth up.
Right.
He raiseth up the poor out of the dust and lifteth up the beggar from the dunghill.
Right.
To set them among princes and to make them inherit the throne of glory.
Right.
For the pillars of the earth.
Rest on that. So the Lord, he does everything. He makes poor, he makes rich, he heals, he wounds, he makes good, he makes evil. Everything is at the hand of the Most High God, right? So literally when you see somebody die, that's judgment from the Lord, right? Most of the time. Sometimes the Lord just takes people, but most of the time, you got to have discernment between the wicked and the righteous.
That's right.
Right? If somebody is damn wicked, hey, that's judgment, man. If they righteous, the Lord just happened to take them because he wanted them for whatever the reason may be, man. Right? So, brother, like I said, don't heap sin unto sin, one. And secondly, hey, keep the Sabbath day, right? Which is Friday evening to Saturday evening, right? You don't do no work on the Sabbath day. You don't do no buying or selling on the Sabbath day. You don't do no cooking or cleaning on the Sabbath day. You understand that, brother? Prepare what you got to prepare before Friday at sundown. And then you go back to doing your normal activities Saturday at sundown, right? Read Numbers 15 and 38.
Numbers 15 and 38.
I said 4. This is the last one.
Speak unto the children of Israel,
Right?
and bid them that they make them fringes in the borders of their garments
1 Corinthians 11.
throughout their generations,
Right?
and that they put upon the fringe of the borders a ribbon of blue. And it shall be unto you for a fringe, that ye may look upon it and remember all the commandments of the Lord and do them.
So that commandment is telling you that you got to make fringes at the borders of your garments. If you look up here, every brother you see has fringes, right? That's literally to help you remember the commandments of the Most High God, right? It's a reminder. So when you see it, you know, I got to keep the Sabbath day. When you see it, you know, hey, I can't eat no pork. I can't eat no shrimp, right? That's all a reminder for you, right? It's a fringe with a border of blue. And we can help you get some, brother, right? So after we finish, you're going to speak with this brother right over here. He's going to give you some information, and we're going to help you get some fringes, brother, right? So let's go to prayer. 1 Corinthians 11 and 3, right? Proverbs 28 and 13 first. 1 Corinthians 11 and 3, Proverbs 28 and 13, and then whole 1 Kings
All right,
8 and 46,
This is Proverbs 28 and 13.
right?
He that covereth his
Start at
sin
48.
shall not prosper.
Right? He that covereth his sins shall not prosper. So you can't cover your sins. Whatever you doing that's against the will of the Most High God, you can't cover it. Meaning, read on.
But whoso confesseth
Right.
and forsaketh them
Right.
shall have mercy.
So you got to confess your sins to the Lord and forsake them. So whatever you doing that the Lord is not pleased with, that's not of the Lord's, that's not keeping the Lord's law, you got to confess it unto the Lord and forsake it, meaning do it no more. Right? So, hey, once you put down the shrimp and all that, hey, you got to confess to the Lord you was partaking in that and not deal with it no more. Right? No, read that. 1 Corinthians 11 and 3.
1 Corinthians 11 and 3.
I mean 1 Kings.
But I would have you know
8.
that the head of every man is Christ,
Right?
and the head of the woman is the man,
Right?
and the head of Christ is God.
Right?
Every man praying or prophesying, having his head covered, dishonoreth his head.
Right? So when you pray, brother, you can't have a hat on. You can't have a do-rag on. You got to remove those things. It's reverence unto the Lord. Right? You have to make sure that you show the Lord the respect that's due unto him. Right? And that's what, hey, when you see people and they deal with a king, if they had a hat on, they kind of take the hat off to talk to the king, man. Well, the Lord is the King of Kings. So you got to make sure you come to the Lord in more respect than you would come to any other king. Right? So no hats, no do-rags on when you're praying unto the Lord. Read 1 Kings.
This is 1 Kings 8 and 47.
Right?
Yet if they shall bethink themselves in the land whither they were carried captives,
Right?
and repent and make supplication unto thee,
Right?
in the land of them
Right?
that carried them captive,
Which we are right now. This is the land we're carried captive in. Read on.
saying, we have sinned
Right?
and have done perversely,
Right?
we have committed wickedness,
Right?
and so return unto thee with all their heart,
Right?
and with all their soul in the land of their enemies, which led them away captive, and pray unto thee toward their land, which thou gavest unto their fathers, the city which thou hast chosen, and the house which I have built for thy name.
And so it says pray towards our land. We're Israelites. So our land is Israel. That's our land. That's our homeland, Israel. Right? And it says pray towards that land. So if we understand that Israel is in what they call the Middle East, which is the eastern side of the hemisphere, when you pray, you gotta face the east. So you use a compass on your phone and you face the east. You be on well, we're gonna get to that part. Remove your hat or your do-rag, face the east, and it's two other things. Read 54.
Verse 54. And it was so that when Solomon had made an end of praying
Right.
all this prayer and supplication unto the Lord,
Right?
he arose from before the altar
Right.
of the Lord, from kneeling on his knees.
From what?
From kneeling on his knees.
From what?
From kneeling on his knees.
Right? So he was kneeling on his knees. That's another prerequisite to your prayers. Right? So we got facing the east. We got kneeling on your knees. We got removing all coverings from your head. Right? Read on.
With his hands spread up to heaven.
With his what?
With his hands spread up to heaven.
Right? With his hands spread up to heaven, man. Right? So with your hands spread up to heaven. That's how you pray, brother. Right? So we got, you're an Israelite, right? We got some commandments to keep, right? We got how to repent, which is what? Confessing and forsaking. And then we got how to pray, man, which is what? Face the east, remove all coverings from your head, right? Kneeling upon your knees, hands spread up to heaven, right? That's how you pray, brother. That's how you repent. You're an Israelite, right? And now it's time to come back home, brother. Right? It's time to come back home. And hey, we here for you. So don't think that, oh, well, I met them brothers and now, no, brother, we here for you. Hey, you can come out every week. You can join. You can do whatever's in your spirit to do is what you can do, right? Because we here for our brothers and we love our people, man. And we understand that this walk is a hard walk, man. And it's not a walk to be made alone. Right? It's a walk to be made with your brothers, man. We the ones that lift each other up and build each other up, man. Right? Give me Ecclesiastes 4:9 real quick, man. Genesis 49:1. Zephaniah 2:1, and then Revelation 18:21. It don't matter, grab it.
Ecclesiastes 4:9.
Right?
Two are better than one.
What?
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 Two are better than one.
Read.
Because they have a good reward for their labor.
Right?
For if they fall, the one will lift up his fellow. But woe to him that is alone.
But what?
But woe to him that is alone.
But what?
But woe to him that is alone.
But what?
But woe to him that is alone.
But woe to him that is alone. And woe stands for death and destruction. You can't be alone in this thing, man. Right? In this thing, you gotta have your brothers. You gotta have a body. Right, read?
We fallen. We have not one another to help him up.
Right? Read.
Again, if two lie together,
Right?
then they have heat.
They have what?
They have heat.
Read on.
But how can one be warm alone?
So you can't be warm alone, brother. So you gotta be with like-minded brothers, man. Right? Read what you got.
This is Genesis 49:1.
Right?
And Jacob called unto his sons and
No, he got
said,
it.
gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days.
So you gotta gather yourself together, brother. And that's what we're here for. Give me Zephaniah.
It's the book of Zephaniah,
Revelation 18,
chapter 2
21.
and verse 1.
Read on mine.
Gather yourselves together.
Do what?
Gather yourselves together.
Do what?
Gather yourselves together.
Do what?
Gather yourselves together.
Read.
Yea, gather together, O nation I desire,
Right?
before the decree bring forth,
Right?
before the day pass as the chaff, before the fierce anger of the Lord come upon you.
So we got to gather ourselves together before the fierce anger of the Lord come upon us, man. Right? Read Revelation 18:21.
Revelation 18:21. And the mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it into the sea, saying, thus with violence.
Thus with hugs.
Thus with violence.
Thus with love.
Thus with violence.
Thus with kisses.
Thus with violence.
Thus with violence. Read.
Shall that great city Babylon be thrown down and shall be found no more at all.
And with that, death to America.
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 Kwame Ashala.
Kwame Ashala.
Kwame Ashala.
Kwame Ashala.
Kwame Ashala.
Kwame Ashala.
Kwame Ashala.